Bienvenidos in the second season of Flea Market Bandidos,
This is the tale of two sunset riders who faced impossible odds to find and play the games of gods told in the stories of old. Two outlaws that spit in the face of logic and traverse Belgian wasteland. Two bandits out for a steal. Will they return with legendary loot? Or will this prairie of retro games be their downfall? Find out in this week's episode of Flea Market Bandidos.
The first new flea market of the second season wasn't really that awesome. It was an indoor flea market, so we had to pay €2.50 to get in. Plus, there was one big reseller who I think went through the entire flea market before we could even get in, and bought all the cheap games from people who don't really know what they have. So that makes it kind of difficult for us to find awesome deals.
Still have the problem with getting footage and still have problem with actually finding any decent games. I think there was one reseller there and he bought everything before we got there, we think, or nobody else brought anything, so we were kind of out of luck with that. First outdoor flea market of this season was in a place called the Eco Hus, which is a sort of cafe thing. I don't even really know what it is, but it's very eco-friendly. Apparently it's a low carbon footprint, or what do you call that stuff again? I don't know.
The Eco House. Now the surroundings were pretty nice. It was kind of urban gardeny like, but it wasn't really that big of a flea market. You had a little outside area with a couple of stalls, and then you could go inside and have a couple of tables. People had tables with all kinds of junk. As far as games went, you had some PC games, some PS2 games, but nothing really that special. And then there was this one guy who had quite the amount of Game Boy games. Here in Belgium, Game Boy games at flea markets aren't that common. You mostly see your Tetrises and stuff like that, Pokemon games. But the more uncommon games, you just don't see them that often at flea markets here. So we were kind of excited to see them.
A few new games for the Game Boy collection: Tetris 2, Home Alone 2, and Montezuma's Return, which I imagine is also a second in the title of the series.
I got two new games: Double Dragon 2.
Double Snake.
Double Dragon 2.
Double Dragon 2, that's what it was.
Double Snake 2.
Yeah, I don't know. It's more your kind of game, man. It's more your kind of game.
Kirby's Dream Land. Two classics in my opinion.
For €6.
Yeah, €6 in total. So that's pretty good.
What? Yeah, good games. Yeah, good games. I'm here for the Little Mermaid and My Other Bee and stuff like that. That's my niche. Yeah, so Home Alone 2, I knew that was gonna be a bad game, but I still wanted to buy it anyways, because it's fun to have a collection of bad games. But seriously, don't try it. No, seriously. No.
A couple of days later, we decided to go check out one of the first bigger outdoor flea markets.
We're also gonna have a major loot that we know of by going to a shop.
That's right. That's right.
Secret location, so you have to stay very quiet.
Our expectations weren't that high, as the weather was kinda crappy and we arrived there late. When I say late, I mean 8 in the morning, which is kinda late for an outdoors flea market. However, to our surprise, it didn't take long for us to find 2 resellers. One of them wasn't even that expensive, so we were kind of thrilled to find them.
Prices were decent with one reseller. He had €2 for a PlayStation 2 game, which isn't a bad price depending on the game and the condition of the box and the booklet and the disc. And he had Future Perfect, Time Splitters 3 Future Perfect, which is an all-time favorite of mine. I used to play it on my PlayStation 2, I lent it from a friend and I played the shit out of it, but I never had it. And then I bought it for the Xbox version, thinking my Xbox 360 would be able to play it. But it's one of those few games that isn't reverse engineered for the Xbox 360, so I couldn't play it. So now I have a useless Xbox version at home. And then I found this PlayStation 2 version. I think, yeah, I buy it. Yeah, €2. I get it. I open the box, and it's Time Splitters 2, which is also a very good game, but not the one I wanted. So we had to do a very embarrassing refund thing, and that's when I quit and left.
Unfortunately, he didn't have a lot of really old school games like original Nintendo or Super Nintendo or stuff like that. I saw Obvious was kind of bummed by the whole Time Splitters ordeal, so I bought him Ridge Racer 2 for the PlayStation, which I knew he didn't have yet, and he loves the franchise. These 2 very strange people were walking around at the flea market, also looking for games. They didn't look like the kind of people who were out to find games, strangely enough. I know that's kind of short-minded of me.
Captain Video Game and his sidekick or something, dude. Who the fuck wears camouflage suits inside the city? At least wear urban camouflage. Why?
There was clearly something wrong with these dudes.
And that's coming from 2 guys who spent their free time making YouTube videos about finding retro games. That's saying something. As a flea market bandito in Belgium, you have to, sometimes bend the law and do a little shady business to get your games. That's a very awkward pause.
Stop doing coke.
Fucking hell, man! The fuck, Steven? Fuck! God damn it. Yeah. You do some shady deals. The parcel I was about to receive wasn't really all that legal, per se, but I think it was worth it.
What a strange place to pick up games.
It's not completely legal, but
It's a dry cleaner.
yeah,
They're laundering the games.
yes, exactly.
Oh.
This is my box of illegally gained video games. Was $30, no, €30. I don't pay in dollars. €30 for some Game Boy games, and plus €4.50 in shipping. With someone whom I hope did not screw me over.
I gotta admit, yeah, I was kind of worried about it being a dud and there not really being anything in there. Maybe just being like this trophy hand of a middle finger being raised. I would have paid €35, well, €34.50 for, this. It's not really something you want.
I have to find out. Should have brought scissors. Let's see what we got for €34.50.
A bunch of newspapers.
Yay, newspapers, yay. Hey, look, there's a sale going on.
You want this? Do you want this? I don't think you do. But yeah, it was worth it.
So we have Donkey Kong Land, the Game Boy Color, or no, Game Boy I think.
Game
The
Boy.
Lion King, also for Game Boy. Most of this is for Game Boy. the Kleine Zeemermin, which is
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid, right? Which is like my favorite Disney movie of all time. Bugs Bunny, Crazy Castle.
Yeah. Awesome game.
Awesome game. It's one of the best games ever made. Pokemon Blue. This is one I really wanted.
That's a good deal for €2.
Yeah, it's €2 a piece. So I used to have Pokemon Blue. Anybody who's seen the top 10 list knows that it's my favorite game of all time.
So nobody knows.
So nobody knows, yeah. Why don't you like our programs? Anyway. Pokemon Yellow. I already have one of these. Got one from my girlfriend, but I might be able to sell this one somewhere. It's worth a lot more than €2. The Shroomf, which is Smurfs.
Yep.
The Game and Watch Gallery 2. 32 in one game.
Which seems interesting.
But it's a legit 32 in one game, not like the one we have, I think.
Is
Oh
it
no,
legit?
it's not legit.
I don't think so.
No, it's not legit. You're right.
I don't think Nintendo would publish.
it's totally not legit. But it has Dr. Mario. It's a lot of Mario games, so let's hope it works. DuckTales. Woohoo! DuckTales. Woo! Crash Bandicoot XS. We might as well give another Crash Bandicoot game a try, even though most of them suck, the newer ones at least. Old ones are great.
True that.
We also have Ferrari. Whoa!
We also have something on the ground.
Yeah, Ferrari GP Challenge, or so we are led to believe, I suppose. Wario Land 2, I think. Yeah, Wario Land 2.
That's nice. That's nice. A good one.
Mortal Kombat 2.
That's awesome.
Let's just hope it really is this game. The Looney Tunes.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, I think. Bugs Bunny, Lola Bunny. Final game, Maya the Bear. I don't know if is that known in other countries?
I think it is Maya the Bee. I don't know.
Maya the Bee. I don't know.
Might have a different name.
Yeah. So I think that's a pretty good haul for €34 and a half.
This is beautiful. Ah, yeah. Ah, yes. Ah.
Illegal dealings in video games. Yay! Turn it off now, Steve Hat. Turn it off now.
Hey guys, welcome back to CMS headquarters. We're gonna dive right in and start reviewing what is probably the worst game ever made.
Game Boy herpes.
Game Boy herpes.
I got the Game Boy herpes.
I don't know how I got it, baby. I swear.